So good morning, good evening, wherever you are joining us from, and a very warm welcome to our innovation workshop today on the topic of Japan as a new investment target for life science innovation, organised by LinkJ, the Life Science Innovation Network for Japan. I'm delighted to be opening this session, especially as One Nucleus and LinkJ have a history of strong partnership together. So during this session, we are going to hear from 4 exciting startups and emerging technology coming out from Japan. And very shortly, I shall hand to Masashi, who will be our moderator for today's session. Just a couple of housekeeping rules. You are all on mute, to have muted. So before speaking, please remember to unmute. Also, if you are not presenting, please remain muted while the speakers are talking. We are recording this session as part of the on-demand content that will be available to registered Genesis delegates. So we have a lot to fit in for this session. So without any further delay, I'm going to hand over to Masashi. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Alicia and the One Nucleus team for the great organization for this session. And thanks very much for all the delegates today for the title, Japan as a new investment target for the life science innovation. So my name is Masashi Matsunaga, a senior consultant in Oxentia based in Oxford. And also I'm supporting LinkJ as a supporter or ambassador to encourage further engagement with global partners such as One Nucleus. I don't really know that if this title hit to you to decide to join or not, but obviously Japan is becoming very good investment targets after for the last decade. If you imagine like the Japanese economy was driven by the large corporates for the last decades. However, now the startup challenging is recently a big trend in here. And obviously, there's many Japanese startups having high technology can be introduced to the global market. So my mission is to encourage this kind of transactions. There's also a big force to accelerate to Japanese startups to having big support from the what we call ecosystems. As a supporter, I can say that LinkJ is the largest and the most active and powerful life science ecosystems in Japan. And I'm happy to introduce this session. So next slide, please. Good. So today we designed the programs with the session with inviting 4 leading Japanese startup companies having unique technologies and portfolios. Before hand over to those delegates, I will introduce Mr. Aki Soyama of the CEO of LinkJ to introduce briefly for their organization and approach to the global ecosystems. So Aki-san, please.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining this session. I'm Aki Soyama of LinkJ, President and CEO, and I'd like to express my warm welcome for everybody. In next few minutes, I'd like to share the overview of LinkJ. LinkJ is a non-profit organization established about 4.5 years ago. Its official name is Life Science Innovation Network Japan. And its objective is L, in a wide range of life science, I, to support and promote innovation, N and K, by creating network or ecosystem, J, both in Japan and abroad. We have now currently 470 plus members, and for the last 1 year, 518 events and symposiums were held in our facilities in Tokyo, in the midst of Tokyo. And after or with COVID-19, and since the April this year, more than about 190 events, webinars have been held at our facilities and hosted by our members. So we have a strong global network with Wow. Great cheer for me. So next slide, please. So we have a great network with global license clusters core organization, including, of course, One Nucleus, and as well as global universities such as Oxford University, UCLA, UC San Diego, and so on. And also, we have domestic networks. Next slide, please. Shown in this slide. We have a very strong networks with major Japanese life science clusters, as well as major academias like Tokyo University, major 7 national universities in Japan, and also private universities like Keio University, and so on. So with regard to UK, next slide, please. With regard to UK, we have already signed the MOU for collaboration and have done lots of collaboration with One Nucleus, the hosting organization of this great events, as well as Metcela in London and also Oxford University. So today, 4 Japanese exciting startup companies in life science area will make a pitch to you. So I hope you enjoy this session. Thank you very much. So Masashi, please.
Great, thank you, Aki-san, for the great introduction. So obviously, the UK is a very important part to engage from Japanese ecosystems, and also having the backup from the current EPA, the government agreement. This can encourage further communication. So now we're going to the main session for today, with having 10 minutes presentation from each delegate. So first company is Metcela. If you can start showing some. This company has got very robust technologies for cell therapy using special fibroblasts discovered by the founder, Iwamiya-san, who is also my friend. And please join me in the welcoming Ms. Ami Okuno, who's specializing corporate development at Metcela. So Ami-san, all for you.
Thank you. Are you seeing the slides?
Yes, so if you can do
Okay.
the screen show.
Oh, hold on. How is this?
Yep,
Is
that's
this?
perfect.
Okay. Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Ami Okuno from Metcela, and I'm here to introduce to you our company and our product. At Metcela, we're developing a truly revolutionary therapy that can potentially regenerate your heart tissue and that can reverse the disease progression. And we believe we can do this with our VCF, or Vegan-1 positive cardiac fibroblasts. And we have 4 clear pillars distinguishing our product from the rest. First, our cell VCF. Because this cell is a particular type of fibroblast, it can be cultured easily and manufactured at much lower cost than many of our stem cell therapies. And VCF is non-self-beating and is a terminally differentiated cell, so many of the safety concerns are eliminated. The first pipeline that we're working on is an autologous therapy. The heart is known to be one of the most immunoreactive organ in the body. So using autologous and homologous cell is ideal for targeting cardiovascular diseases. Whilst many of our products in Japan targeting the heart requires open chest surgeries with a large incision to approach the organ, we use catheter to inject our VCF directly to the heart. And the minimally invasiveness of the catheter allows for repeated injection of the cells. Working closely with cardiologists and catheter company, we have designed and developed a catheter and the injection needle to suit our cell. And lastly, our catheter can be connected to a 3D mapping system. 3D mapping system allows them to map out the heart and visualize in real time and decide where best to inject the cells. So each of these strengths work together to form a strong core competence for Metcela. And with VCF, we're targeting ischemia-derived heart failure, which is often caused by myocardial infarction or heart attacks. And when this occurs, some of the cells that make up the heart dies, and the heart cannot pump the blood efficiently to the body. And this leads to insufficient oxygen and nutrient deliveries, and the patients may experience shortness of breath, fatigue, and reduced ability to exercise. And if not treated appropriately with medications or device, the conditions may worsen over time. And heart failure is a serious condition, yet there usually is no cure for it. And heart failure affects a large group of people, and globally there are said to be over 26 million people suffering from this debilitating condition. Mortality following hospitalizations for patients with heart failure increases dramatically over time, as you can see. And heart failure is often associated with many complications such as kidney diseases, other heart problems, and more recently with the worsening of COVID-19. So as I mentioned, there are high unmet medical needs in the heart failure treatment. And our product of VCF cells and catheter to combine together, which we called MTC001, is designed to target the devastating unmet medical needs in the ischemic heart failure treatment. Initially, we're targeting those patients in stage C on ACC/AHA stagings and class 2 and 3 in New York Heart Association classifications. For patients in these stages, are most often given medications to control their symptoms and delay the progression of the condition, but some percentage of the patients may not be responsive to these medications that they receive. So Metcela is focusing on treating the heart failure patients not responding to the standard medications for at least 3 months. Every year, there are said to be more than 600,000 new myocardial infarction cases in the US and more than 70,000 cases in Japan, and the number continues to rise due to the aging society. And 15% of these patients do not respond to currently available medications. So we estimate that our target, as indicated in the red box, would be around 109,000 patients in the US and 13,000 patients in Japan initially. And with these in consideration, the total addressable market is expected to be more than 10 billion US dollars in the US and more than 1 billion US dollar in Japan. So far, we have confirmed our cell's efficacy in rats and pigs as part of our preclinical studies. And the therapeutic benefits were clearly demonstrated in both animals, in which we used left ventricular ejection fraction, or LVEF, to measure the ability of the heart to pump blood. Here you can see that the LVEF for VCF injected, as indicated in pink, and medium control indicated in black line, at 18 weeks after cell injection. And at the end, there was 26% difference in LVEF at 18-week time point. And comparing our results to other groups, this was the best results we could find. And in pigs, we've also observed a dramatic increase in LVEF after cell injection. So VCF is not based on ES or IPS technologies, so we can avoid the potential difficulties in regenerative medicine, such as safety concerns and manufacturing issues. An optimized delivery system will minimize the cell loss and potential side effects. We have developed a catheter along with Japan Lifeline, which is specifically designed to and constructed for VCF to dramatically improve cell retention, and the catheter can be connected to a 3D mapping system for precision targeting to the infarcted areas. Japan Lifeline has vast experience and knowledge in delivery and treatment devices in the cardiovascular arena, and Metcela has the novel cell that has shown to improve the cardiac function in small and large animals. So by leveraging the strength of both companies, we're promoting the development of clinically feasible treatments to patients without any hope for cure. So far, we've raised over 13 million US dollars since our inception in 2016, and we're now in the process of closing our Series B financing at the moment. And we've received grants from various organizations and investments from these domestic and foreign investors. And we have solid intellectual property position, where we submitted 5 patent applications in the past 4 years. 2 are already issued in Japan, and several other global applications are in process. And we have some talented individuals working at Metcela and leading each of the teams, and advisors supporting our endeavors. So thank you so much for your attention today, and please consider joining our venture to revolutionize the way we treat heart failure. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Ami-san, for your presentation. haven't mentioned, but if from the audience is having questions, you can put on the note or just unmute yourself for the any question if you have. While waiting, I have one question or just for the comment. What is your like a strategy to do business to Europe?
Can you repeat the last part? Sorry.
Especially for European partners,
Ah,
so like partners, investors, or distribution networks.
right. So with the European investors or partners, we've had several discussions with some of the pharmaceutical companies that are originating in Europe. We actually have not had any communications with investors in Europe, as where a lot of our supporters are based in the US. But we're definitely looking to expand our business globally and eventually to Europe as well. So we're actively looking for investors as well as partners, both in America and in Europe.
Good, thank you. Yeah, it fits to today's title. Japan is a new investment target. So if you are listening to from the investors, you can consider. All right, thank you very much, Ami-san, for a great presentation. Okay, let's go for the next one. Good. So the next second speaker is Dr. Poshin Wan, CEO of HANAVAX. Hana means nose or nasal in Japanese for your information. Vax means obviously vaccination, I believe. So this company is quite successful in having special nasal vaccination technology, having patented nano carrier for drug delivery. So all for you, Poshin.
Yep, thank you. So good morning to everyone, Posing from HANAVAX. My great pleasure having this valuable chance to offer by Lingje to present our business on the nasal vaccine business at this workshop. First, I would like to start with the market landscape and unmet needs. I will briefly introduce our platform, nanogel, which can be applied as a drug delivery system for nasal vaccination. Today, we focus on our key pipeline RSV vaccine. So by 2018, the vaccine market was $43 billion US, in which therapeutic vaccine constitute 15% of the total. We expect a promising growth and market will double in year 2026. Yet, there are critical unmet needs that need to be overcome with innovation solution. According to WHO, there are more than 25 infectious diseases without a marketed vaccine. And this year, the whole world is really suffered by COVID-19. A painful but important lesson that we need to learn that the cost for developing a vaccine is far lower than what we are losing without a vaccine. Second, there is no defense as port of entry for most of the injectable vaccine. Instead, you can only expect protection come after the pathogen invasion occurs. Third, nobody would like the painful arm injection and potential side effect occur, which will link to vaccine hesitancy. So to overcome it, we have developed a nasal vaccine platform technology, the nanogel. So for the protein of interest, we will be capsulated in the nanogel antigen and then it will spray into nasal cavity without a needle. So you can see that the protein encapsulated in the nanogel has a longer retention time as compared with the naked antigen we display immediately after the spray. Longer retention time will enhance the chance to be intaken by the DC cell at the nasal cavity. So with this platform technology, we can develop a couple of prophylactic vaccine and immunotherapy. The first pipeline has already been licensed out, and we are now working on RSV vaccine. So today, let me introduce three bad guys causing the contagious respiratory illness. The other RSV, influenza virus, and the newly emerged coronavirus SARS-CoV-2. So after infection by either of the viruses, one may suffer the similar symptom of having runny nose or fever. However, we see that gustatory disorder is symptom only observed in coronavirus infected group. When we compare with the R0, the basic reproduction number of these three viruses, we notice that RSV can be transmitted as fast as coronavirus. When we compare the hospitalization of children below 4 years old, RSV is really causing problem to the young children, especially infants, having over 500 counts per 100,000 population. Coronavirus is most problematic virus, causing over 1,400 loss of life per 100,000. Although the other two viruses also causing mortality of the elderly group, but to a far lower extent. In the case of RSV, besides hospitalization and mortality, severe RSV bronchiolitis in infancy is a strong risk factor for asthma. Our children and grandchildren are the risk group suffering from RSV-caused respiratory infection. So, having vaccine available for influenza virus, this become a preventable disease. And we heard the great news that the first vaccine for coronavirus is launched yesterday at UK. Yet, we do not have a marketed vaccine for RSV since the failure of the first RSV vaccine in 1960. So Hanabugs has designed a chimeric protein having the surface protein of P6 of the NTHI conjugated with the SH surface antigen of RSV. So this will be a smart solution of kill two birds with one stone. So having the administration, the vaccine being administered directly to the nasal cavity, so we can elicit secondary IgA neutralization of virus at port of entry and a relevant antibody-dependent cell-mediated cytotoxicity at systemic compartment. And two layers of protection will be built by this SHP6 chimeric nasal vaccine. If we go with conventional intramuscular injection, only systemic compartment, namely the IgG antibody secretion and blood circulation, is induced. The limitation is very clear, not able to induce immune response and mucosa surface, a part of inhaled pathogen entry. With our nasal vaccination, we can elicit strong immune response in systemic compartment and mucosa surface. So you may ask, what is the benefit of using both systemic and mucosa immunity? The secretory IgA as mucosa surface is selectively binding and neutralizing virus replication, prevent virus from entering our body. Thus, the nasal vaccinated individual is protected from infection. As secretory IgA neutralized virus replication, we believe this will reduce the host-to-host transmission via droplet infection. From the painful lesson of coronavirus, we also learned that controlled droplet infection being utmost important to reduce the transmission of disease. So, besides the nasal vaccination, also elicit strong antibody-dependent cell-mediated cytotoxicity for clearing viral particle and infected cell from the inside of our body. Developing RSV vaccine remains to be our highest priority, but because there is no marketed vaccine for RSV so far. However, this platform technology is a powerful tool for developing next generation vaccine for other infection disease, which shall include coronavirus. The first generation vaccine for coronavirus is just launched yesterday, regardless of the platform technology. For this first generation vaccine, they all come with an injection. The first generation vaccine sure will reduce the severity of disease in vaccinated individuals. We strongly believe the nasal vaccine is a powerful and logical direction for next generation vaccine by eliciting both systemic and mucosal immunity. We are seeking investors who share the 100 value of vision of nasal vaccine as new solution for global health for our equity finance at mid-2021 and partnering opportunity with pharma on our pipeline. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much for Shin's great presentation and very timely for the coronavirus development. Can I ask one question?
Sure. Go ahead.
It's similar, but what is your stage for the investment or partnership with maybe large pharma for this kind of application? Can you comment?
Yes, we just have our first pipeline, having a partnering with a pharma on this September. Now we are working on the RSV, and we will be expecting a fundraising round on mid of 2021. So hopefully we will have some interest from the European community.
Great. Yeah, thank you very much. Is there any question from the audiences? Just simply unmute yourself to raise a question. Yeah, because I got 3 daughters in here, and the nasal vaccination is quite popular in the UK rather than in Japan, which I believe. So maybe, yeah, I believe your development and the further partnering to the UK or European partner will be welcomed. Thank you very much for sharing. Great.
Avoid the crying of the kids.
Yeah, I hate the scene. Good. Thank you very much for seeing. Okay, so it's good time manner. So we can go for the third presentation. So the third speaker is Dr. Shin Hato, CEO of Cellusion. So Cellusion is a regenerative companies having iPS differentiation technology to particular eye corneal cells. So if you could start showing your slide, Hato-san, it's your turn.
Okay, thank you, Masashi. Then I will share you the presentation. Please wait a moment. Can you see the slides?
Perfect. Go ahead.
Okay, well, let's start. Okay, here is the title. Our mission is a cellular technology breakthrough for clear vision of the future.
Sorry, Hato-san, to interrupt. Can you do the slide show again?
Okay. Sorry. Can you see the slides?
Yep. Thank you.
Okay. The cellular technology breakthrough for clear vision of the future. Cellusion is a university-based startup company from Keio University School of Medicine in Japan. I am Shin Hato, CEO of our company. My background is ophthalmology, and I specialize in corneal transplant and regenerative eye medicine. So here you can see the clouded cornea of the eye. This disease is bullous keratopathy, corneal endothelial dysfunction. It causes to blindness. It is the most major corneal disease and treated by corneal transplant. Over 50% of corneal transplants are for this disease. Well, has the global corneal blindness been solved by corneal transplants? No. Why? The reason is global donor corneal shortage. There are 13 million patients waiting for corneal transplants globally. However, only 180,000 operations per year are conducted. So there are enormous supply and demand gaps. How can it be solved? So let me show you our solution. On the left and middle are current corneal transplant methods. Conventional transplants are penetrating keratoplasty or endothelial keratoplasty. Although the surgical methods have advanced, these surgeries are still very difficult with many complications. On the right is our solution: cell transplant of corneal endothelial cells from allogenic iPS cells. Corneal endothelial cells are mass-produced from allogenic iPS cells, and the cells are just injected into the space between cornea and lens called anterior chamber space. With our solution, cell transplant is not only far easier, but also much safer for patients compared to conventional treatment. Our cell transplant technique reduced corneal edema and allows clouded cornea to recover and become transparent. Next, let's move on to our competitive advantages. We have developed a mass production process of corneal endothelial cells by direct differentiation process. We can treat at least 1,000 patients per batch, and it takes only a month to produce cells from iPS cells. Some researchers try to make corneal endothelial-like cells by indirect step-by-step differentiation process, but they have not succeeded in obtaining proof of concept. Other researchers, other groups try to culture corneal endothelial cells from donor cornea, but it's very inefficient and takes far longer. Moreover, they cannot preserve the cells. On the other hand, we can preserve frozen stocks of cells, which enables us to easily distribute the cells to hospitals or clinics globally. Okay, let's take a look at IP. We have 4 patents covering our mass production process. 2 have already been registered, and the rest are under review. And these protect our business. Okay, so what about market structure and size? Currently, there are 1.2 million new patients each year, and this translates into approximately $5.8 billion per year. In addition, there remains 9.8 million patients waiting for therapy globally, and this translates into roughly $47 billion. So how about our exit plan? We are scheduling a first-in-human clinical study in 2021. There will be a phase 1 and phase 2 clinical trial in Japan in 2023, and clinical trial in the US from 2024. Next year, we will get 20 oku yen or $20 million in fundraising in 2021. Our exit plan is an IPO in 2023, and our product's goal are approval in Japan in 2024 and approval in US in 2026. Next, you can see our pipelines. These range from corneal diseases to general diseases. CLS3 is for corneal stromal diseases, and CLS4 is an immunorejection-free successor for CLS1. CLS2 targets other regenerative medicine areas beyond eye diseases based on our derivation technology from iPS cells. Okay, so before I finish, let me just summarize the key points. First, Cellugen is a leading global company in corneal regenerative medicine. Second, our core competence is iPS cell technology. And third, we will eventually move into other regenerative medicine areas. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.
Great presentation. Thank you, Shin. Is there any question from our audiences, please? It's been quiet. So if I comment, so for the cryopreservation for your iPS-derived cells, so this is quite the key to distribute to the world. And what is the development stage for the cryopreservation technology plus other surrounding technologies? So for example, like you need a sewing media to have like a higher viability for the patient in the end. What is your production development status?
Yes, in the so far, our final product is made or finally adjusted after sewing the cryopreservation and washing the cells and collected the cells. And we will do first-in-human trial by this method. And for future clinical trial, we will improve this process to more easily and more easily as a more easily process. And we also try to preserve the cells in room temp in the 4-degree to transport after the thaw the cryopreserved socks.
Great, thank you for your comment. Because yes, so cryopreserved cell delivery is kind of advanced globally. So now FedEx can support. They hate it, but now they can support. So I like global distribution network. Okay, thank you very much, Shin, for your presentation. Okay, so if we could go for the final speaker today is, if you can close your presentation. Great, thank you. So final speaker is Mr. Akihiro Hirao, CEO of SAG Storage. This is a unique company established in one of the largest National Cancer Center hospital in Japan, with accumulating surgical videos to be utilized for industrial application and development. So thank you for Hirao-san or for you. Sorry, can you unmute yourself?
Okay, can you hear me and can you hear our slide?
Perfect, go ahead.
Okay, thank you for introducing our company, Masashi-san. So, and thank you everybody for giving us a precious opportunity to introduce our company. I'm Aki Hirohira, who is COO of Surge Storage, and we will deal with surgical big data called S-Access. S is the surgery. So this is today's takeaway. We are a big data provider of surgical information based on a differentiated scheme in National Cancer Center in Japan. Although we just started to construct big database, we are almost halfway of 50%. We'll be ready to deliver our service in near future, maybe next year. Today we are seeking collaborators as shown with full character, a medical device company or research institute, tackling the development of AI or robot assisting surgery, or specializing for surgical business already. And we also looking for the companies we try to make inroads surgical business or venture capital, corporate venture capitals, which have interest in Japanese healthcare startup. Next, let me talk about the market we will enter. This figure shows the future marketability of healthcare AI showing the market volume in 2026. As you see, AI or robot-assisted surgery have significant growth, and this is expected to exceed $400 billion in the late 2020s. Currently, the market size is about $150 billion, and the expected CAGR is a high growth rate of 15 to 20%. The point is, the key driver of this promising market, we are very convinced that the key driver in this market is data, and we are aiming to get the position of this data provider. Why data is necessary? Let me take the example you know very well. Self-driving car system that everyone is dreaming as a future technology requires a lot of data to develop the system. Can you imagine why system recognizes every situation around the car? That's because system learned from plenty of data. Data is annotated, signal is signal, passenger is passenger, the meaning of sign or indicator through the road. The surgical system is the same. The development of AI or robot-assisted surgery, this is a model of that one in the figure of right side. So yeah, this also requires a lot of data that is annotated with organ or device. Surgical the point is the difficulty level of data acquiring. We make use of this gap through our business scheme. I will explain this later. Under the aim of this project, we start business as a National Cancer Center in Japan 4 months ago under the mission and vision in this slide. We could be an infrastructure of future innovators in surgical field. Our company was founded by 4 people, 2 business persons, including me, and 2 surgeons. Our CEO and I led the business, and 2 physicians strongly support the clinical practice. In addition to these members, total 70 members, including engineers, annotators, and the administrative offices belong to the National Cancer Center on which we are based on. Since then, let us explain about our business background and business scheme. This slide shows current situation of surgery in Japan. As you can see in left and middle figure, the number of cancer patients has increased, and the number of endoscopic surgery, which can be the first choice of radical treatment, has increased dramatically in recent years. On the other hand, the number of surgeons performing surgery has not increased, and the importance of streamlining surgery itself, ensuring safety, and training surgeons is increasing. That is statistical information in Japan, but we think same situation occurs in the UK. As a solution to this problem, AI or robot-assisted surgery would be developed by cutting-edge companies. Lots of healthcare companies also try to improve their own products or services. These 2 segments are our potential customers. Hearing from more than 40 companies already, they have faced serious challenges described in bottom line. Maybe there is expected, while there is expected to be a significant growth in the market, they are overwhelming insufficient clinical data in developing of AI or robot. And there are also problems in the development or improvement of existing businesses in which they cannot understand the current status of surgery. Further improvement of the learning curve of surgeons who actually perform surgery is an essential issue. However, the main training is standing up surgeons and looking back only their own data. And the environment is currently insufficient. So when we look at these issues in common, it is now difficult to access the surgery itself. In order to solve this critical problem, we provide data services on a scale that were difficult to obtain and strongly support company activities and training environment for surgeons. This shows the whole structure of a business. While we are building a large-scale surgical database and National Cancer Center based on over 3,000 signal videos, Surge Storage, our company, conducts management and consulting company, including the provision of services for companies. The data being collected from nearly 100 hospitals, including 30 university hospitals. We signed an agreement with the Japan Society of Endoscopic Surgery to obtain data each year in order to maintain our data as sustainable. The breakdown of database is shown in this slide. As a first step, we will accumulate 3,000 data in 4 areas. We will also collect data on the gynecology and respiratory surgery as a next step. We have at least 100 data in every surgical method to meet customers' needs. By an interview from major healthcare companies about the need to use surgical videos, we narrowed down the functional implementations. That's the processing of the data, which we see the data itself, which we actually get, primarily for marketing use above and for the development use below. About the function of the view, see, and use, we developed such kind of viewer. Not only the volume and diversity of data, but also various tag information can add significant value to our customers. This increases information on the characteristic of the patient, the surgical process, and the used equipment. For processing, this section annotates the data as shown below. Professional staff and a high degree of data accuracy adds significant value under the supervision of our physicians. This makes it easier for companies to use the data. In this annotation, we believe that is our key resource that can be an entry barrier, and we believe that it is an important business function. Our competitive advantage is that we want to utilize it, but we plan to promote this as an infrastructure business that maintains neutrality by taking advantage of the mechanism of the development of cancer centers. In addition, to increase the value of research-based database, we began discussion with foreign surgical institutions in the United States and Canada already. Our strategy is to obtain data also from foreign institutes and use the data as an industry standard. Fortunately, we got contract to big company last month in Japan. We strongly hope we could support potential customer in the UK. Please let us know if you have interest or the organization that may utilize our database. Finally, we show the financial plan. We will focus on expanding a business domestically in 2 years and then widely promote to foreign companies or industry to reach approximately $30 million in 5 years. So thank you for giving me a lot introducing our company. Thank you for your listening.
Thank you very much, Akihiro. Any questions from audience?
Masashi, there's one in the chat box.
Yeah, which might read through. Alicia.
Sure. So thank you, Aline. So quick question for, I guess, all speakers. How did they find the last months for their company's development plans? So I guess given in the current situation, so you know, not traveling as much or having the opportunity to have face-to-face meetings, how has that affected the companies that have presented?
That's maybe in general. so if I can comment, this affects travel restriction does affect. However, like today we doing a webinar distant world, and for myself it changed a lot of opportunities, and sometimes I can get more information rather than just traveling, not wasting but spending times face to face. So yeah, using still like a restriction, but maybe the ecosystem platform will be more important. So startup company, for example, in Japan, startup company in the UK can connect with using that kind of ecosystem networks that can encourage more business network. Thanks very much, Aline, for your question. Maybe back to presentation for the surge storage. I have one question or question. Yes. How about like ethics? I'm not very clear for the like a video capturing. So what is like an informed concept for the patient itself? Do you have any comments?
Yes, this is the most important thing to drive our business. Yeah, we confirm the ethical issue in our hospital, not only our hospital, but also all hospitals that contract with our hospital, National Cancer Center. So we get informed consent from patients, each by each, to use our data as a commercial use. So, and also we also get a EIC from patient to use our data overseas. So yeah, we already confirm PPC, private, so this is a Japanese, 個人情報保護委員会, private, private information policy committee. And then so, yeah, we can, maybe we don't have any issues or hurdles to proceed our business.
Great, thank you very much, thank you. All right, that's Japanese, so we are all punctual. Thank you very much for all speakers for brilliant presentation today. And for the audiences, I wish this opportunity to become a new finding for you to engage for like a new potential to engage to Japan or Japanese ecosystems or particular company presented today. If you have any questions or particular requests, please contact the delegate. They are all in the network app to find the speakers, or you can contact me, or you can contact to our friends in One Nucleus. Thank you very much, and I will return the authorization to Alicia. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Masashi, and all of the speakers today. They were really impressive presentations, really shining a light on emerging technologies that are coming out of Japan and also the opportunities that's creating for the life science ecosystem. So again, thank you very much for your time and taking part. And as Masashi has highlighted, please use the Genesis app to reach out if you have any further questions or comments. And also, please use the app to view the upcoming schedule. Our next workshop is at 11:30 this morning. And of course, I couldn't end the session without mentioning that the main keynote program is tomorrow, and that's not to be missed. So with that, I wish everyone a very successful conference, making new connections and continuing to learn. Have a good day. Thanks all. Bye.
Bye.